that. We're here with head coach Nate Brownrigg, West Muskingum football, getting ready for the 2024 season. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day, coach, and to talk some football and get going with the season, man. And I tell you what, you got your season. I think you got your summer started a little bit earlier than a lot of other coaches because you got to coach that All-Star game. We talked about it
Yep.
before we played it. I'm sure that was a lot of fun for you. Obviously, you guys came out with the win, which is always awesome. But I'm sure that experience was great, and it kind of got the juices flowing for football a little bit earlier than you normally expect.
Yeah, for sure. And like we talked about back when it happened, the number one goal was to everybody to be healthy and then enjoy the experience, and then being able to come out with a win is kind of a bonus for it. So yeah, definitely an awesome experience, awesome group of kids. So really glad to have done that.
How's the offseason been with your kids after the All-Star game? You get going with your kids with summer workouts and camps and 7-on-7s and whatnot, and all your installs with your schemes and stuff. How's that all went with some of the new kids that you have coming in, but also your returners?
Yeah, we've had a really good summer, really good spring, really good summer. Attendance has been great. Numbers are good, and I'm sure this question will come up in a little bit, but we lose a lot obviously with some of the guys that graduated, but we also have a lot coming back. We have a lot of experienced guys coming back, some 2-3 year starters in some really key positions, and then some of the new guys that are coming in aren't necessarily young guys. They're guys that have kind of been biding their time and doing their job and working. They were just behind some guys that were a little bit better in the last couple of years. So I'm excited to see some of these guys step in and see what they can do. But we've had a really good off season. Really good start to camp. 2 days started today. So really solid practice and excited to see what we can do.
I think you knew that I was gonna go here, but obviously Rashid Sesay, he graduates, he moves on, and he's just a unicorn. It's just a guy that's irreplaceable, and he did so much for you. He broke the MVL, single season, touchdown record. It broke every record imaginable in the MVL, and I mean, with a guy like him leaving your roster, how do you kind of fill that void with other guys? Because obviously, no one's going to do what he did. He was just a special player. I mean, what guys do you think you have coming in that can kind of do similar things in different ways? Whether it's lining up on the outside at receiver, in the backfield, you know, has it kind of forced you to be a little bit more creative with the things that you can do because you need to maybe use multiple players instead of having a guy like Rashid?
Yeah, that's definitely like really since last season ended when people have asked me about that. Like you don't replace a guy like Rashid. I've been around the league for a long time. We had some conversations in the coach's office the last couple of days actually. That he's a guy that the league doesn't see very often. This area doesn't see very often. So basically what I've said is instead of having one guy score 43 touchdowns, I need 8 guys to score 5 or
Yeah.
something like that. We'll really spread those things out. And the nice thing is I think we have some really nice players coming back in those key positions. Carter Windland being one of them, our tailback from the last couple of years, just kind of a sawed off, bruising tailback. Wes Houston, who started linebacker the last couple of years and some H back and tight end, is going to be a much bigger piece of the offense this year. He has grown and is a lot stronger and more athletic. So going to be a really versatile piece for us. And then Jake coming back at quarterback, third year starting, really high expectations for him to be able to distribute the ball. And then really wide receiver is one of our deepest positions. I think we have some really good some good athletes out there to spread the ball around. We got some long bodies in Tavin Bennett and Carter Smith that could also run really well. We got some kind of shorter, quick guys. My son Braxton being one of them is an incoming junior. Coleman Lloyd, a longer body too, out of receiver. Connor Hill coming back, and then we also have besides Wes at tight end, we have 2 or 3 other really good tight end, H back, linebacker bodies, and so our offense is kind of going to be built around that. A lot of 12 and 13 personnel, 2 and 3 tight ends on the field, doing a lot of things, not just all in the box, although that'll be part of it, but also spread those guys out and let those guys go up against smaller guys, in the secondaries of other teams. So, no, really excited about seeing what these guys can do and um, you know, spread the ball out, a lot differently than we did last year. When Rashid was obviously a nice tool to have because we could put him just about anywhere. We got a couple guys that are like that, but it'll be more of hey, receivers are receivers, running backs are running backs, and kind of mix it and spread it around.
Yeah, you mentioned Jake, 3-year starter. I mean, what do you make of his development? What kind of a jump do you expect to see out of him in year three? Because I feel like a guy, if a quarterback starts young, as a freshman or a sophomore, it's junior or senior year they really make that big jump and they become a really really good quarterback. What do you expect from him this year?
Yeah, again, expect big things, especially the mental side of it. Being 3 years in, you expect him to be able to read and process things, a little better than he did as a sophomore and junior, and then just the leadership aspect, not only out of him but some of our other guys, that I already talked about coming in to do that, and yeah, big expectations for Jake, and really big expectations for everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, you're following up the greatest season in West Muskingum history. So, I mean, I assume you relish sort of maybe not pressure, but like that excitement just surrounding a new season where you're coming off of the best season that the school's ever had, from a football standpoint. I mean, are you and the guys kind of relishing that and just raring to go to head out on the field week one and go out there and do it again?
Yeah, I think it's one of the exciting parts about we're trying to build a program, not just a
Hmm.
one and done or a couple
Right.
classes to go through and you go back. So the idea is to to build a program where certain expectations basically stay the same at this point. From this point forward, we always expect to be in contention for the NBL title. We expect to compete for playoff positions and make runs. And so those things don't change. And the cool thing about coming off a year like this, and I was fortunate to spend several years at Tri Valley, where like each class that came through kind of set the tone or kind of set the record as the winningest class or most successful class or whatever, and then that got passed on as a challenge to the next group, and that's kind of what we are right now. Again, I think a lot of our guys, even though coming off the NBL championship, again, a lot of guys coming back, but we lose some of those key guys, and I think expectations around the community or from the outside might be a little down, but those expectations aren't going to change for us. And I think that it gives us a little bit of a chip on our shoulder that these guys still have something to
Sure.
prove, because they think a lot of people think that because we lost this guy or that guy or these pieces that we're going to take a big step back. And again, our expectations are to not take a step back. Again, we'll do things differently, but that's it's part of the job of coaching, is to put our kids in the best position to be successful. And I think that we've got a good start to doing that.
There's always work to be done to get better every day. But if the season started tomorrow on a Friday, if tomorrow Friday was the day the season started, are you guys ready to go, or do you guys still think you need some work over the next couple weeks to get ready
Oh,
for week
we
one?
definitely need some work still. Fine
Sure.
tuning a lot of things. We got all of our base stuff in, so guys know how to align for the most part. In the next, on both sides of the ball, and for the next couple weeks, it's going to be rep after rep after rep, and continuing to work and hone in on those techniques and things that fit into the scheme. Now, I guess if we absolutely had to, we could line up and play, tomorrow.
Hmm.
But thankfully, we got 3 more weeks
Sure.
until that happens. A couple
Yeah.
scrimmages along the way, and really excited about seeing. Because another cool thing, we also have a lot of competition in a lot of different spots. So some of the, again, I talked about those guys coming back, but some of those guys are going to be vying for the same positions. Up front, we got a lot of position battles up front on both sides of the ball to really figure out who's going to be our best mix of guys up there. And again, that's a good thing. When numbers are up, when excitement is up, competition breeds success. In my opinion, and so there's not much room for complacency and kind of hanging out and thinking you got things in the bag. So it's been a good off season, from that standpoint, and it's going to continue for the next 3 weeks until we figure out, who's going to be in the best position for week one.
Who are you guys going to see in your scrimmages coming up the next couple weeks?
So same as the last couple of years, we have Athens coming to our place next Friday, and then the following week we go over to Johnstown, and those are a good mix of scrimmages for us. Johnstown does some things that you don't really see in the MVL.
Hmm.
Maybe a couple teams, but they're more of a really kind of line up, and from a physical standpoint, it's a really good test going into the season. And then Athens is really similar to us. And Athens, it was down for a couple years. But I think they're really excited about the guys they have coming back, and I think it'll be a really good scrimmage as well.
So is today day one of the beard coming back, or is it actually week one of the season that you start growing it
It,
back out until you guys are done in the playoffs?
yeah, it'll be. I typically shave, again, kind of for the final time, right when school's about to
There
start,
you go.
and then from that point on, I let it go until playoffs are over. So, yep,
Well, hopefully it's ending with you hoisting up the state championship at the end of the year. That you let that beard grow as long as it can go.
definitely
So
really cool.
no, but thanks, Coach, for hopping on today, man. This is great, and best of luck to you this year. And hopefully you guys can repeat in the MVO small school and make a deeper run in the playoffs, man. But again, thanks for coming on. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.